Wake up, buy here, pay here people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhodes on the Buy Here, Pay Here morning show. Take it away, you two.
Hello, everybody.
And good morning.
Good morning from NIADA. We're downstairs in the media room and just like super happy to be here and having this beautiful space. And so if any of y'all are listening and are in the building, you can swing on down and watch this live if you'd like.
Media room for sure. Yeah, we have a distinguished guest with us today.
Yes.
Our friend.
Hi, Gordy.
How you doing?
And
Good morning.
Illinois dealer, Gordon Tormohlen. We know
Uh-huh.
him as Gordy, and you have a fun story about that when people call the dealership.
It's a simple policy. We put out Gordon. When I get a call for Gordon,
It's like,
50-50, well, probably 70-30 chance it's a telemarketer.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you call and ask for Gordy, you'll get me.
Yeah.
If you ask for Gordon, the staff, if they're in a really joking mood, might just tell you that he expired last night.
That's funny.
yeah. Wait,
So I'm gonna move your microphone a little bit closer. So we
Yeah.
can make sure the audience can hear you well. So yeah, it's all good. I think I had fun yesterday, Gordy. We set up at the in the area of the exhibit hall.
Yeah,
We were able to
it was
broadcast a
wonderful.
little bit last evening, and so that was a fun thing. And I had fun saying, welcome to the fabulous Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Like, it all starts
Yeah.
to sound really official.
Rolling it out like you were Michael York or something.
Right.
Something. So it's kind of fun to just be able to. I said to somebody, like, when did I quit becoming a business coach and become a TV person? Like, this is a whole
It's a
new
funny thing.
Like,
It just happens to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we're totally enjoying the whole experience, and we're glad that you're able to be here this morning. And
Yes.
it was just wonderful to be able to be in the general session yesterday and see your opening remarks as Scott
Mhm.
Allen hands it over as president. He now steps into the board chair
You'll be chair.
position, and then
Mhm.
you'll be president for the coming year. And so we're just excited to see that. And we talked yesterday about the electricity that has been this
So
convention so
wonderful.
far.
It's fun. It
Yeah.
just
It
is.
has
I mean,
been.
from the opening night, everybody was at that first party
Mhm.
and the din of noise. These folks just love each other. They couldn't wait to get together and
That's
talk
true.
business and entrepreneurship. and all that.
Absolutely. Jim and I, I had mentioned to you, and I also mentioned to Mark yesterday, or Scott, sorry, yesterday, that as we sat through that opening session, both of us kind of felt a little bit emotional. And it was just, it's really, we have a beautiful year coming up.
We do.
A really, really beautiful year coming up. And it's something that it's not just the energy, but it's just like, this is a beautiful track for NIADA.
I've been on the board for a long, long while, and I was coming to these things beforehand, and you just feel it. This is a family of entrepreneurs that all make a living in the independent retail space selling
Sure.
vehicles,
Mhm.
whether the business model is buy here, pay here, or retail or wholesale or whatever the case might be. But they feed off of one another, and there is love and family with this thing. I'm shaking hands. My kids are looking at me like, how'd you know that guy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's and last night we were talking to Jeremy, and it's like a family reunion, for crying out loud. And
Yes.
the din of COVID is gone.
Yep.
And it's just, everyone is just just thrilled to be together and have this experience.
I want to thank you guys for creating and contributing to that buzz.
Oh,
having you in
thanks.
the
It was
expo hall
fun.
last night.
It was
just
fun.
more action and more stuff going on.
Yeah.
The board, we were greeting people as they were coming in and yucking it up and having a good time.
Yep.
This is a warm, we have a purpose. There's business to be done and all the rest of it, but it's also just a warm, friendly environment. And
It really,
ought to
really
be.
is.
We saw that, and we recognize that it is a family, and that family is growing. Like Jeremy shared with us that there were 271 first-time
Exactly.
attendees at this event, which tells us, that means that the message is getting out. I think
Yeah.
in our buy here, pay here space in particular, probably some folks recognizing I better go find some resources, and find some help. It's getting difficult, right?
There's a little bit of that, and we went to the first timers reception, my wife and I,
Uh-huh.
and we're meeting and greeting these folks, and hey, where are you from, and what's your business model and so forth. But Lori took that on. She got a step ahead of me, and I'd say hi, and she's like, oh, hey, tell me about your business. What you got going on?
Yeah.
But
She's delightful.
here we are yakking it up about buy here, pay here, and what you got to do, and how you doing, and what's your size, and how do you collect, and all that kind of. And there are, to your point, new folks that, even if they're not new to the business, are discovering that there is benefit and education to being a part of the association.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it's great.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I really appreciate it. One of the things that we've been trying to do is, we have a podcast. It's a free thing. You just can learn a couple of things about it, and that we have the opportunity to plug the associations, because our intent is to reach people that may not have stepped in, and it's like, welcome, come and join. This
100%.
is, yeah.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
this is my presidential thought process. I'm still getting used to that. I just, that's a whole nother thing. But we have approximately 14,000 members nationwide.
Okay.
But we park ourselves in a market space that's 38,000 independent
Yeah, we
businesses
were
across
talking
the
around
nation.
40,000.
So there's
yeah.
some good folks out there that
Mhm.
aren't aware of their need, or they're presuming somebody to just do it so they don't have to pay the $2.99 for membership, whatever the case is,
Oh,
and they miss
yeah.
out on so much. And the folks that get here, the new folks in particular, have realized the value.
Yeah.
And it's not hard for this association to exceed a $200, $500 fee for membership in terms of value it provides.
Oh, absolutely.
We just got to get that message out to the rest of them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And when you said the 271 new people first time, this is not going to be their last conference
Yeah.
either. So, and they probably will, the states have things like this
Yeah.
too that we can go
Yeah.
to, that's more regional and
Yeah. What, I got
and-
an executive director I can call when I got a problem on something?
right,
just-
right,
We had
exactly.
some fun yesterday. We shared it with Jeremy, I think, on the podcast yesterday. But the thing that we were setting up yesterday,
Mhm.
and we had a gentleman come over and said, "Hey, we wanted to say hello. We follow you on YouTube." Turns out he's from Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
so now obviously in
Wow.
your tenure, we're going to need to talk about the International Auto Dealers Association.
sure.
So, yeah, why not?
Hey, I got a presidential ring, baby. I can get a crown. too.
Oh, I
let's
saw.
go.
Look at how glitzy that's
Oh,
beautiful.
no, Michelle, let me tell you
Fantastic.
about this thing. Okay.
Okay.
Black Book sponsors it. They're
Uh-huh.
great
Uh-huh.
partners with NIADA. But when I went up and I got the ring,
Mhm.
I couldn't do it to him. He was just too nice a guy. Paul from Black Book was just terrific. We had a nice chat afterward. But I was going to tell him, the last time somebody put something this pretty and shiny on my finger, the next thing I did was give her a big old kiss.
Yeah. Where is Paul?
Dare
He's probably
you.
hiding after that statement.
That's fun. Yeah,
That's
no.
awesome.
Yeah. No,
That's
it's
very
just
good.
we've just had such a good time being here. And I think, we've seen it. Obviously, I've been around the industry for 20 plus years. I've been to a number of these events over the years as a vendor coach and as a dealer for a long
Mhm.
stretch. And so, we just see kind of the opportunity, obviously, that is these conventions. And we certainly try to help our clients and dealers understand that there's so many opportunities, so many benefits from being here, resources.
Yes.
And now this year, as we talked about with Jeremy, you got the CFPB here, you got the IRS, you got the FTC, they're all here to as friends and neighbors who are here in the spirit of cooperation, right?
This association, and Jeff has done an outstanding job, and we have a trajectory that we intend to follow. And a part of it on the legislative end of things, we'll be going to Washington, and we'll have people in state houses following legislation and protecting our dealers.
Mhm.
But also we want to increase our influence with permanent Washington,
Mhm.
the folks that have a job, whether
Yep.
they get vote, they don't have to
Good point.
get voted in. And these are the folks that influence our business the most, because they take the legislation and then implement it
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
either a beneficial or harmful way.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we are
Yeah.
a resource to them
Absolutely.
and not a threat that needs to be monitored and had a thumb on them at all times.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a very cooperative environment. Makes sense.
And it should be.
Yeah.
There's nobody at this in this association that wants to do a customer harm.
Right. Right.
So there,
Yes.
we know
Yeah.
what we want to accomplish. They need to understand that so that we can work together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to say good morning, Jerry, and Lori's already. Your sweet
She-
wife has already popped
Already
in.
said
and
hello.
Good
She's
for her.
she's laughing, little
Yeah.
emojis, laughing and kisses. So
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm not in trouble yet. then.
yeah, I know, right? I had a great opportunity yesterday to meet Lori. We've been Facebook friends.
Mhm.
Everybody's Facebook
yeah.
friends with Lori.
Well, because I first stopped and then we had a conversation with Scott and his wife and I said, oh, there's Gordy, and I'm going to go and they said, oh, be prepared to be Facebook friends, and I'm like, already got that covered.
Yeah.
We're already Facebook friends.
That's
So
a good thing.
yes, it absolutely is, and she's just so delightful.
Funny story.
Yeah.
And Lori, you love Lori.
Yeah.
I'm blessed that way. But when our daughter headed off to college is when Lori really got into Facebook.
Mhm.
And she was at Northwood. And so we went up for the auto show, which occurs about in the first 2 months that you're up there.
Mhm.
And so Lori runs on campus, and Karina's, she's this young lady just having fun at college. She thinks she's on her own and everything else. And immediately Karina's friends started coming, "Hey, Mama T, how you doing?"
Oh boy.
You can just see the look on her face of like, "Oh shoot, I'm not gonna get with anything."
Yeah, right.
So-
Absolutely.
Well, but isn't that awesome to even for your daughter? It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like mom's loved,
And
yeah,
Those kids who are
Mhm.
now in their 30s are people that are still friends of hers. We've
Yep.
been to weddings and done stuff
oh,
like
that's
that. And it's just,
wonderful.
yeah, you
That's
spread the
wonderful.
love.
Sure.
She's a very nice yin to your yang.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, good partner. Yep,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
we just also, I mean, I realize you got a lot of things on the horizon as president. We've obviously witnessed during
Mhm.
Scott's presidency, the whole DPG merger came together. We
Yeah.
saw, of course, Jeff Martin coming in as CEO, and there have been other kind of milestones. And so are
The
there-
master master
certified
dealer
master dealers
program
been
again, and
resurrected,
also
yeah.
the
CPO.
CPO program. Yes,
Yeah.
he has to help me with all of the acronyms
Acronyms,
and
yeah.
names of things. It's like I know what
It's
it
kind of
is.
alphabet soup.
and
Well,
something
listen, the CPO 360
Uh-huh.
is starting to really catch buzz and grow.
wonderful.
It is larger now than it was when we had our previous program.
Oh,
There
okay.
are more providers for our dealers. There are benefits
Wonderful.
that they haven't even learned about yet to this
Yeah.
thing. And the best part about it is that Lou Tedeschi, who really pushed this thing forward, has made sure that the dealers that sign up for CPO also are trained and understand how to deploy it, how to make it work for them, how to
Good.
market those vehicles so that they're
Good.
successful in
Good.
doing that.
And go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think I've shared with others, maybe it was Jeremy a while back, but I think that CPO program only gains traction as the NIADA brand advances.
Mhm.
Then to me, that CPO is easier. It follows even easier than it is today.
Really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all part of what we see happening. But yeah, I think for today, it was just a matter of having the opportunity to say hello and check in as we kind of have still 2 full days of the
do.
conference and a lot of great education ahead. And so
Yep.
we look
There's-
forward to
There's work to be done.
yeah, for sure. And it's
There
one of the things
is.
for those who didn't see it. I think the general session from yesterday will be on the NIADA website or in the maybe for members.
Yep.
But one of the things that I really was pleased to be in the room to hear Jeff Martin, he had a little bit of time at the end, had a very succinct message. And
Mhm.
basically what he shared was talk is cheap. Let's go to work. Right. And
Yeah.
so
Loved it.
that's a beautiful
That's
thing.
a lesson that he learned from Marvin Ivy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100% true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's what I think you can see out of your association. And I think those listening who are not currently members of their state, verify that your state has, an association. Get registered over there.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, when you join your state, that includes your national membership,
it
and
does.
so
Yep.
you'll be able to get that.
And I'm gonna beat my drum
Go
again.
ahead.
If there's anything that if there's only one thing that association, your dues go to, if all of it just went straight to Capitol Hill in helping all dealers, regardless of whether or not you're a member of NIADA. NIADA is out there speaking for all dealers, and that's worth it right there to be able to
Really
do
is.
that. And on the state level, and because when you join your association, it's usually joined through your state, and so the state has some monies for their legislature as well as yours, but it also helps with a lot of other
Exactly.
pieces
You
that
need,
are
you
good.
know, you're trying to defend your dream.
Mhm.
You started this business, you
Yep.
built it up. It's in many cases, it's everything to you,
Yep.
and you're wrapped up in it. And unfortunately, sometimes you need to play defense on that and protect
Yeah.
your dream.
Yeah.
And being a part of the association is a critical piece of that.
I agree. I'm a little nervous for all of those dealers out there who are not aware of the safeguards rule and get caught unaware.
Yeah.
And you've been out there beating all of the board have been out there beating the drum about that. But there, when you talk about how many we have in the association, how many there are, it's like dealers, if you're in the association, this is happening and you know that your neighbor dealer, because we should all be friends, go and talk to them and say, hey, don't forget about look into this. This is where you can go to get the stuff. Because
This of course never happened to me, but have you ever been pulled over and you tell the officer
once
that
or-
you didn't see the speed limit sign and they tell you that ignorance is no excuse. You're supposed to know the law.
Right.
Well, safeguards have been deployed for 12 days now. We don't know how they're going to enforce that. If they're going to take major pushy action or if they're going to walk their way into it and try and find bad actors where the case is. But if you're unaware of it, you're in danger.
Well, exactly. And I don't know, my experience with things like that is that there might be a few that are used as an example, which because through the news, through whatever, you're going to see that and go, oh, I should do something about that. And unfortunately, sometimes people are used as an example, and just don't be that person that is going to be used as an example.
Michelle likes coaching on compliance. I have always said, let's stay out of legal and accounting, but she just marches right off. And she definitely likes to.
So she's your yin and yang. I mean,
she beats that drum of compliance for sure.
Yeah.
So I think we recognize
Jim,
that.
I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, but many wives are focused on compliance.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I really should pay more attention, shouldn't I? Yeah.
I've learned
I would have learned. That's why I like hanging around with you.
Lordy's like, never.
Why do you think I say yes to you so often?
Before we kind of wrap up, is you're still a dealer.
I am.
You have a dealership that's, I love hearing your story. I've heard it a few times because we've had you on the show and all that. You've got a dealership, you've got a family, you've got a community family, all of that. How is being president going to shift what it is that's happening at your dealership?
I hope it won't change much of anything. I mean, I know I'm not going to be around as much because I'll have travel obligations and there'll be calls coming in daily that I need to take time for and so forth. Our team is prepared for that. I mean, we've got good, solid folks in service.
You've known for years that this is coming.
We'd locked down. I've got an awesome guy that's been with me for 20 years that runs our sales operation. My son does accounting, and he's fully capable of doing everything that I do with just a couple of things that I kept so I can still come in and know things. Yeah. But, it's so there won't be critical worries. You can, on a cell phone, I had a call with the boys this morning, and the service manager was upset because they sent the wrong year motor for a truck we're working on. And but they're on it.
It's absolutely.
And so we're fortunate in that regard. We've always chosen people that had attitude first, and our people's attitude is that our customers are not obligated to do business with us.
Yeah.
So it's a privilege that they choose us, and we need to honor that privilege. And it works smoothly. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and we coach a lot of dealers, and one of the questions that we go through, especially if they're an established dealer, it's like, are you wanting to work in your business or work on your business? And it's actually creating those processes, those reports, those kind of things, so that you can be absent and have your finger on the pulse of what's happening in your business in an instant, and be able to know, okay, so this is happening, which probably means this and this and this. And so be able to take corrective actions.
A beautiful counting system that we use. And it's of course it's online. So we've got everything all set up that the collection guys send the deposit report via PDF at night. My son gets up in the morning and it's all posted. And by the time I check it, midday, I know where everything's at. I know I've got performance reports. We know what got sold, how far we're at on our target for the month. Sure. All of that is covered. And so it's easy to check and not have to have more gray hair.
Well, it's kind of what we chose as the phrase last night in our conversation with Steve Taylor. I'm guessing Steve, and Keith Hagler from Texas. We talked to them about what I called step away value, which is, how do we get to that place that you just described? And obviously there's been a lot of work go to that, but having trusted people and processes in place. And we know that you're a very customer centric dealer. You have that sort of mindset. And so we're able to talk through that. And so we enjoy sharing with dealers stories like yours about it is possible to get to the place where the business can function. And so
you have to train your people and structure for that. And we've spent a lot of time teaching our people how we want customer care, and we know that they've internalized it. I don't have to give attitude speeches and all that kind of thing, and so it simply happens.
Yeah.
And if you have to be there with your thumb on the pulse at all time, something's wrong.
Sure.
Yeah,
because you should be able to walk away and enjoy the life that you dreamed of once you started this business.
Amen.
And I mean, on the other hand, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just I love being a part of it. And I always want to be. My dad was 90 when he passed away, and he was still coming in for 5-6 hours a day. answering phones, chatting with people, that kind of thing. He was enjoying it.
Right.
And, if I go anywhere in this career path, that's kind of my next step is I want to become less and less responsible and
Yeah.
offer that to my son
Yeah.
who's third generation or my daughter
Right.
and let them.
So that's your
take it.
succession plan, is your son and your daughter are going to be kind of taking this over as you.
And that's where it appears right now. Our daughter right now is more on the association side. She's pretty much running Illinois as an executive
Wow.
director,
Yeah.
and amongst 3 other jobs. She's a busy lady. Okay, but she likes that side. She's been here at the meetings and she's getting all stoked and she's got
that's
plans and
beautiful.
taking notes and all the rest of it. I didn't even ask my son what classes he's going to today because I know he needs to make those decisions. And for me, it's a great blessing to watch them transfer into leadership in this thing. But if it were the other way around and this just didn't trip their trigger, it's for sale.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little business. I've enjoyed it. It's provided for me and those I love, but I'm not silly enough to think that it has to last 150 years.
Yeah.
I want my kids to enjoy their lives and build their own lives. They both of them got married this last year to wonderful people.
Oh, wonderful.
And so, now we're doing house projects and we're getting rid of 2 other houses that they have owned, and it's heartwarming to watch that happen. And that's way more important than the legacy must continue.
Yeah.
Right, sure.
When we talked last night with Steve and Keith, obviously they both are, they've become part of the America's Car Mart family, but part of the conversation, the reason why we were having the conversation was from conversations we had in hallways. It's like, what are the things that are important to a business that is looking to acquire, and how important community, team, customer culture is super important to them, that they 100%. You've got all the KPIs and you need to be able to show all of the reports and all of that, but that is a important piece because they want to be, that's what creates success. If someone's is what you have created in your community with your customers and your team.
The brand and the value of any dealership, whether it's a new car franchise or anything else, lies in the employees and what they create consistently going forward for that customer base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking at to buy a dealership that's strictly transaction oriented, the heck with it. Rent a building and start your own. You don't need that because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
And in our case, I'm blessed. I've spent less than $1,000 per year advertising for 20 years now. Our customers are all repeat and referral.
And a lot of dealers are like, what? We're spending up to $200-300 per sale doing the thing. And how the heck do you? It's because you are known in your community. You're known, liked, and trusted in your community.
That's a huge piece of it. And we do things that create value for our customers that other people won't.
Yeah.
When we had a bigger facility and more folks and so forth, we did free Saturday car washes. We still do free pickup and delivery for service. And other deals will tell you that's not going to make you any money. You can't do that.
It's not about money.
Long term, I've been okay.
Yeah. And it's about non-tangibles. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
intangibles. Thank you. It's about intangibles. And so, we talk very frequently about straight lines, squiggly lines. This is squiggly line stuff.
100%.
And the more you can step into that and still, keep your tabs on all of the straight lines, but the more you can step into those squiggly lines, the more you're only going to have to spend $1,000 a year on your,
to your point,
that
Michelle,
kind of
too,
thing.
that's the fun part of the business.
It is the
You can
fun
mess
part
with
of the
it and
business.
tweak it and do things,
Yeah.
and your customers love it.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
sometimes we joke. I've got several customers that'll just mosey on in my office right in the middle of what I'm doing. I could be on the phone or working on reports, and they'll plop on down with a cup of coffee. Hey, how you doing? Hey, we're going to talk about what happened to the skid loader at work today or whatever. Yeah. But I've become part of the brand at that point in time. I'm their car guy. These same people have been buying cars from me since the early 90s.
Yep.
And some of them were former new car customers, and I'm their guy.
Yep.
So they'll call up and thinking about getting an Explorer. What do you think of that? So no problem. What, tell me price bracket and miles. I'll get you one. We'll show and tell it. You don't like it, it goes back. And we get the vehicle there. The deal's all preset. We've got profit built into it.
Because they know you, they know that you're going to.
And my employees see that, and they understand that's exactly how they need to operate to build their own brand within my brand.
Yeah, and as we talked about with those gentlemen last night, it's like I feel like those things that we talk about being an asset to the community is kind of the simplest way I know to explain it is if the people in your community view your company as an asset, that's going to bode well for you. It's going to translate to the bottom line
Absolutely.
too. And also, I just think what it does is it creates that situation where we've got a long game plan. We're going to be successful. We're going to be profitable. It's going to be a healthy company, but we definitely have to think about a long game.
Sure.
And I think, the smaller the community that we're in, the more true that becomes.
Absolutely.
We got to play that game because we can't burn through customers and expect to have that work out well.
The interesting thing, even in our town, and we're 25,000 people in our city.
Yeah.
Okay. When our family moved to Freeport 50 years ago, there were 7 new car dealers and 1 buy here, pay here operation. Now there's 3 new car dealers and 4 buy here, pay here operations. We have competition.
Sure.
We compete in that marketplace. Some of those guys don't know what I do. They just think, he's never advertising. He must not be doing that well. And we've got this nice, solid customer base, and we take care of them, and they take care of us.
Sure.
And frequently, we'll get customers from these other guys who are mad about something happened with the car. I mean, gosh, that happens with but the way it was handled was poorly enough that they let it.
There's a
go
lot
back or
people
that kind
can
of
learn
thing.
from you and your community. A lot of your competitors. And we talk an awful lot about like competitors. It's like, we're all in the business of helping people. And
If you look at competition the right way, it's a wonderful thing.
It can be fun.
We've got a competitor that moved down the street, and they're retail used car operation, but they'll stock 500 cars. I mean, it's just monster. Okay. The minute they moved down the street from us, our sales went up 10 units a month.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's they can't get them all.
Right.
Yeah.
So it gives us an opportunity too. And I didn't have to pay the advertising.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
I think this is one more example, Gordy. We've had you on the show a number of times. It's been fun to get to know you better. And I think one of the things that anybody listening, especially a dealer out there in the independent world, and especially the buy here, pay here world, can recognize we're coming off a tenure with Scott Allen, who was a buy here, pay here guy. Now Gordy steps in. The buy here, pay here is also well represented on the board.
It is.
Right. So you've got, you've got an excellent executive team. You've got a tremendous board. So I just think it's a great time for the independent auto dealer. And so we just think, write that check. If you're not currently a member, write that check. I can ask them.
Yeah.
I'll just tell them.
Keep those cards and letters coming.
Checkbook. Go find your checkbook and make it payable to your state association. And so we hope to see you at the event next year. Of course, there will be the super forum.
One of these days, one of the things we've kicked around, one of these days for a conference, if it works, we would love to host a telethon.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a lot of fun.
Now, wait a minute. Years ago, when I was a teenager, I took over the muscular dystrophy telethon for our city. And we did that for about 4 years while I was heading off to college and all the rest of it. That's work.
Oh,
it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
It is
too. It's a lot of fun.
For me, it's kind of gives me an opportunity, like this whole thing about I want to go recruit people. Like Michelle knows, I had played football in school. I've always enjoyed football, and so part of me wants to be a football coach, and I want to go out and recruit people and let's build a team. So again, it's part of the thing. But so we just enjoy that, and we know there's a lot of good things happening at the association. We know it's an important kind of fraternity, if you will, to get involved in, and so we encourage people to get involved, and we know that as this energy continues to build, we know that'll naturally happen.
Oh, it absolutely will.
Yeah,
So
sure.
one thing I'd like to say, because I think it's important, we're here, our purpose is buy here, pay here when talking to you guys and so forth.
Sure.
This is a big cotton picking tent. Okay.
Yeah.
And we've got retail folks in it that we need to consider as an association, and they're going to have a tougher year than our buy here, pay here dealers are. That was revealed in Jeremy's presentation the other day. It's simple to understand, but there's wholesalers, there's classic car dealers, there's trucks only folks, there's lease here, pay here, there's CPO dealers. There are so many different business models within this market space. And this association helps and supports and represents every single one of them.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just fortunate to be wise enough to be in the buy here, pay here.
That's right. There you go. That's a good
Well,
way
and
of
I'm like,
buttoning it up.
should we start another podcast?
Yeah.
And
There
it's
you
just for all, just talk
I've-
about White Hat Way for all dealers
There
or
you go.
something like that. Thank
wrap
you,
up there.
Gordy. We really appreciate you taking time. I know you're busy, but it's just, we love and appreciate you and are really excited
Oh,
for the
Thank you
future
for
for
having me.
next
Yeah,
year.
congratulations.
I really love what you guys do. do for the
Thank you.
Thank you.
association and for the industry.
Thank you so much. All right. Next thing is tomorrow, 9 a.m. Jim will be broadcasting live from his address.
Talking strategic planning for buy here, pay here.
It's going to be
that sounds
good.
fun. Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining today.